Thank you very much, Waleed. That was excellent. So now we've got our prose reader, and that is going to be Charlie Eskew, who I met back in May. He was up here. He's actually well, no, we had somebody from Brooklyn, but one of the few non-Metro Detroiters that we're bringing in here. He's from Columbus. But yeah, he did a reading at Pages in Detroit, and I wandered out based on the description of the book, and it was a really good reading and really good talk afterwards. And so I asked him right away if he'd come out back this way, and he said yeah. So we're going to bring Charlie up now.
Hello. Sorry, I'm just going to try to... I can do one of these. I'm Charlie J. Eskew. I am an author from, unfortunately, Columbus, Ohio, so apologies for that in advance. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I don't say that at all to remind the white people here that I'm selling a book and make you feel guilty enough to buy it, so not throwing that out at all. No, I'm just joking. I wanted to read some particular excerpts from the book. I love that I'm here for one. I love this comic book shop. It's amazing. And as a comic book nerd and someone that just writes black speculative fiction, I kind of wanted to just read things along those lines. So these are just excerpts from the novel, and I guess I'll just do a little context as I go. And I meant to do this a little more smoothly, but I don't have my phone. It was to kind of keep my time, but I guess I'll just look over to make sure I'm not going over. So this first excerpt is from his Becoming chapter. Basically, it's when the superhero Donald McDougal, who was kind of named after Dwayne McDuffie, one of my huge comic book inspirations, he started Milestone Comics and did a lot of DC animated universe stuff. Dude's a genius. But he gets struck by lightning, the most original way to get superpowers ever, and he is finding out for the first time that he has powers thanks to getting pulled over. Okay. Less than a mile from my shoebox, I considered driving all night, blowing puffs of death stream into the familiar night sky. But the oasis of chill I'd found myself in thinned as quickly as the dissipating smoke when flashes of red and blue summoned a stop from behind. These are the astonishing tales of first times. Every nigga has a cop story. This will, unfortunately, always be our great unifier. It's one of those things we promise to teach you later. It's become so redundant that a guy, no matter how kinda sorta brown he is, getting pulled over is equivalent to a fart joke in your favorite Adam Sandler movie. I digress and apologize, as I'm aware that 2 more racially aimed comments will officially land this little memoir in the dusty African-American section of your local bookstore. These are the astonishing revolutions that cannot be categorized. The sirens are the worst part, always. They rattle my skin like it's covered by a Marvel symbiote. At the sound, I drop my cigarette and then curse while swatting at my fiery crotch and simultaneously pulling over. Amid this reckless flailing, I tapped the gas pedal over and over and heard the stutters of the police officer's car whooping. When we finally parked, he waddled up to my window and acknowledged with a grunt what a burden I'd been. I'm tired too, I wanted to tell him. I'm so tired. I'm not a moron though, so I bit the words back. Do you know why I pulled you over? These are the astonishing tales of because I'm young and I'm black and my hat's real low. I didn't let my Jay-Z-inspired insolence escape. I avoided eye contact. No, sir. You don't? I know your registration sticker's on the wrong side of your plate. I know that you should take the bass out of your voice when you're speaking to a police officer. There was no bass, no treble, just a scared soon-to-be superhero staring at his own waist, wondering if he'd be the next name on a picket sign under Things That Mattered. He rolled his eyes, and I ducked mine low, the inevitable dip in our dance. I almost went for my ID, but thought better of it. I sat. I waited. Your ID, sir. I complied. When I reached into my side pocket and there was a reassuring lack of pals, I was free to start feeling the fire. Don't you hear my voice? Don't you know that I'm one of the goddamn smart ones? He didn't. The sound of braking behind my ears began then, and I don't know if it's ever stopped. Please step out of your vehicle, sir. I climbed out. I didn't ask why because, well, not a moron. Where are you coming from? Work. His eyebrows rose at that. Where's that exactly? The stereo hut? Mind if I search your car, sir? Now, it's no secret, or at least it shouldn't be, that you have every right to say no to a question like this. You can also raise a middle finger. You can laugh in their faces. You can beg them not to make you part of the hashtag hailstorm. There's a lot of things you can do. Sure, I answered. The officer tore through my vehicle like a beast from the east or some other juvenile thing. He found nothing, but seemed so pleasantly exhausted afterward that I considered bumming him a cigarette. I stared around my car at the accumulating mess, the cost of a disorganized life. Amongst the amalgam, I saw old printouts of weekly work schedules and comic books I hadn't gotten around to reading yet, still bound in the plastic they were shipped in. Passers-by, few that they were, stared for a moment before blazing off. Shitty as it was, this was the good part. For a moment, I became the badass, the one I ran from through the halls in my high school. The onlookers gave me that gift, turned me, with one magical glance, into that darkness. I was brought back to life, back to reality, by the sound of a clinking coin. During the ransack, it glanced across the accumulating pile of crap at an odd angle. It wasn't a coin for spending, just for keeping. It signified 5 years of my father's sobriety from narcotics. When I was 14, I'd found it on top of his dresser drawer, while piffering change to avoid the embarrassment of having to use a free lunch ticket. I'd found it at a time when I thought any Roman numeral was fancy and to be admired. I wasn't much for photos or movie stubs, but that coin, that goddamn origin story starting coin. Pages so thin. It dropped out the open door and started to roll away into the darkness. I wanted to ask permission to run after it. I couldn't, though. I was powerless. These are the astonishing tales of fuck that. I reached out a hand like the 5-year-old you once were, the one who once saw The Empire Strikes Back one too many times and tried to use a force you didn't have. I don't know why of this next bit, just the how. Twinkles of blue sparks danced from my fingertips to the coin as it shot back up to my hand. Before the officer had time to turn, I was already holding it up. "Oh, fuck!" I yelped. The officer turned with a hand over his firearm. I was too connected to care. Yeah, that was how it started. Thanks. So that was a excerpt from his origin, getting his powers, that fun part. This next bit, just hopping around, is a little more fun, a little more kind of comic booky focused, kind of when he decides to get his costume game up. Kids are still saying game up, right? That's a thing. Okay. So yeah, this is him going to his best friend who is a cosplayer and decides to help him out. Later that morning, I stood outside of Kat's door, with my stomach not so much in knots as in heavy blocks that wouldn't shift. Is this a good idea? The remaining spark I had from the other night contracted the muscles in my abdomen furiously. Calm down, I thought. Don't panic. I banged on the door. At this point, true believer, I hadn't slept in 27 hours. Who is it? Kat sounded half asleep. It's Donnie? She grunted before cracking the door open. Her hair was a thin black mess on her forehead, and her glasses hung diagonally off of her face. Dee, everything okay? I nodded, regretting that I hadn't thought to at least give her a call and say I was on the way. She left me in the living room and went to her bedroom. When she came back, she changed into a pair of black sweats and a white t-shirt that read Xenogears, featuring an ensemble with at least 3 characters she'd made costumes of in the past. Sorry, I figured you'd be up. No, it's fine. So what's up? You were acting real weird last night. Do you have anything to drink? It's 10:30 in the morning, Don. Yeah, never mind. Dude, you're jumpy as fuck. What's going on? It's just I kind of have these powers. Powers? Yeah, I took a deep breath. You hear about that guy, the one they're calling the Midwest Marvel? That's me. I can, do stuff with electricity since the accident. I let a few sparks of electricity bounce around my hand. Anyway, I wanted to tell you that I can do, stuff. And you're cool. And 789. Huh, Kat said after a while, which probably was less time than it felt like. So you, Donnie McDougal, are this new Midwest Marvel. Yes, Catherine, I am. I opened my palm and let a flash of light erupt. The Midwest Marvel. No reaction. Weeks, true believers. Weeks that I'd walked around wanting to tell someone, anyone, that yes, I was special. So you're a superhero, right? It'd be a bit much to see you as a supervillain, at least. Oh, sweet foreshadowing God. You have no idea, Kat. Of course. Well, I did try to crack an ATM. Rent was late, and oh my God, that's crazy. How much did you get? Well, nothing. All it did was shut down on me. Yep, sounds about right. In hindsight, I realized there could have been worse reactions. As stupid as it was to tell anyone, I don't regret Kat being the first one, not for a moment. She took a second to walk around me, inspecting me up and down before taking a seat near a computer. You're a goddamn superhero, she said. There it is, I thought, unable to hold back a grin. Yeah, nifty, right? What else? She asked, catching on. Her superpowered ability to call me out on my shit had only advanced in the last 18 years. Okay, well, I need your help, I said, plopping down on her couch. How can a mild-mannered woman possibly be of use to the Midwest Marvel? Mild-mannered? Where's she? I said. She tossed a pillow at my face. She'd be less of a douche to people you're asking favors from. Right. So I need you to help me with my, look. Your what? I peeled off my hoodie. Every inch of my scathed skin awoke as I did. Finally, I revealed what was underneath. The black T-shirt with the iron-on lightning bolt and the yellow spandex long-sleeve shirt beneath it. By the time I slipped on the winter gloves I dunked in yellow paint, she'd already started to crack up. When I added the black mesh stocking cap, she let loose. I gave her a minute to get it out of her system. So yeah, this is what I'm working with right now. She finished her calculating before wiping her tears away. Oh God, you should have called sooner. Her truth wasn't always welcome, but I could never say it wasn't necessary. I guess if it wasn't for her skill with a needle, I might have told Paul first, but I didn't need a reassuring pat on the back. I needed to make a statement. And if anyone knew how to help me with that, not to mention for a relatively low price, it would be Kat. When we were younger and had more time on our hands, most of our weekends had been spent parading around in costumes at Japanese animation cons. I guess I got into it after everything went down at Aiden's shop. I'd been disillusioned, for a while at least, about what Western comics had to offer. And if you're a bona fide geek, self-exiled from regular society, that doesn't leave you many other options, unless you're willing to get into LARPing, but even I have standards. Anyway, Kat had always been gifted with a sewing needle, but it was at conventions where she really started hitting her stride. You know the crazy costumes you see people wear? Yeah, those don't just make themselves. More often than not, the good ones, hell, even some of the bad ones take weeks or even months of work. When it came to this particular realm of geekdom called cosplay, Kat had an unparalleled hand. And once she realized that, she capitalized on it. You'd be amazed at the profit you can make selling people the chance to dress up as their favorite fictional character for all of 72 hours. When it came to me, she'd usually give me a decent discount, partly out of friendship, partly out of knowing that anytime our convention friends wanted to do a theme or a set of costumes from a show, I'd end up taking one for the team. Awesome idea, everyone. We're going to do a group costume from Shaman King. It's going to be amazing. Oh, really? That's cool. I just started watching that a few weeks ago. I really like Yo. He's a badass. Not a bad idea, Donald. But you're like one of the funniest guys we know. Why not dress up as, the one guy. I'm forgetting his name. The comic relief guy, you know. You mean Choco Love McDonald? The black dude? Oh, I guess he is black. I hadn't noticed. Or, okay, guys, Dragon Ball Z. It's old, but vintage cosplay always wins best costume. Dragon Ball Z! Dude, Gohan is like my favorite character of all time. Well, aside from Piccolo. Actually, we have both those guys covered. What we don't have yet is Mr. Popo. You mean the indentured servant in blackface? Whoa. Why does it always be about race with you, Donald? You get the idea. Thank you. And how are we on time? Do I have time for one more excerpt? Or? Yeah, okay, awesome. So this last one is after he has decided to become a superhero and found his grounding. He's trying to join the Avengers of this universe. To do so, he's got himself an agent. He's gotten himself all set up in the big city where, you know, the only place that superheroes can make it. And he has just done his first on-screen big superhero battle. And this is him meeting his agent after the fact. You're fucking with me, right? Did you see me out there? Wait, okay, just rewind it. Like 20 seconds? Okay, stop. There, see what I did? I was fucking astonishing, Chris. Chris and I sat on the same side of his desk for once, watching a YouTube video of my team up with Doll. I had him rewind to the moment I took down Brickbox. I looked crisp and elegant, like I knew what the hell I was doing. Chris didn't seem to disagree. He'd smirked at all the right moments, but then he told me that my loss was nigh, and that if I could find a way out of my lease in the Bronx shoebox and enough dollars for a flight home, it'd be best to cash out. It was good, kid. It was damn good, but I'm doubting it was enough. He closed out of YouTube and opened 10 or so more tabs. Give these a read, and then let's talk about how you're winning. Where are you going? I said. Taking a shit. This'll take you a while. I flicked the first tab. The site was a familiar, far-right American news, opinion, commentary website that had gotten some traction lately. Right, Bart. No matter what was in their crosshairs. But people read them. People who had the votes to send my black ass home. Sparky the Stoner? Look, in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a superhero who loves to get extremely high. While subduing the notorious super predators, Brick Box and Dr. Detestable, the Black Spark decided to proclaim his love of drug abuse. In the heat of the moment, the potential member of America's premier superhero team cried out, "Let's spark it up." Our resident expert on slang terminology, Tyrone Johnson, has confirmed that this is code for, "Hello, my friend, let us smoke the marijuana." The Black Spark is perhaps best known for apprehending the moderately threatening maverick moralist who has not been proven to be associated with any religious organization or political party. His behavior was completely unprofessional. I couldn't really see his eyes from where I was, but I can't say I'd be surprised if they were bloodshot, one witness informed us. The Black Spark's agent, Christopher Rowe, was not available for comment. "You seem pretty available for comment now, Chris," I screamed towards the bathroom. Chris, whom I must praise at least for his impeccable timing, volleyed without words and let the thunderous sound of his toot speak for him. I pressed on. Boop. Blop. Okay. A spark of abuse. Women speak out against the Black Spark. The Spark, until recently a front-runner for the election to the American Collective resolving overtly negative Yout misconducts, is already making headlines. Unfortunately, they're less than heroic. Sources report that the Spark struck the female super predator, Dr. Detestable, with excessive force, revealing a troubling inability to contain his animalistic rage. How long will we let the specter of toxic patriarchy loom over us under the pretense of superheroics? We here at Agatha's Wolfbite are petitioning for Spark's immediate expulsion from the election. Also, there were other women there, too. "But what the shit was I supposed to do, huh?" I yelled to Chris. "Oh, I don't know. Not punch a white woman square in the jaw on live TV? I mean, that could have been one thing, but the hell do I know?" he yelled back. At least he was giving me words again. A spark and a fury, deconstructing the rage of black superheroes. "Nope. Read it, McDougal." "No, I'm out of here. I'll see you later." Thank you. So, I mostly like to write satire. That's pretty evident. And kind of play on different ideas of invisibility, also the toxic idea of being exceptional, and what that can lead to. That's my work.